So I wanted to try every free drawing app I could, but because I can't ever do things normally, I'm gonna make them fight in the Hunger Games and see which drawing app survives and wins. Oh, and hi, I'm Hana Q, your local digital artist. So, how am I gonna do this? Well, first, I'm gonna try and rate each free drawing app out of 12 points. I'll also design a tribute for every app. Then I'll enter them into a Hunger Games simulator, and it will play out until every app gets wiped out one by one. By the end, we'll have one app left standing and the winner of the free drawing app Hunger Games. I'll be testing out 12 different free drawing apps separated into 3 categories. The first category is PC drawing apps. These are apps you can use on your PC. The second category is iPad apps. You can download these apps on any Apple device. I just happen to use an iPad. And no Android apps today because I don't own an Android. I'm sorry. And the last category is alternative apps. These are apps that are either different, kind of memey, or not necessarily intended for drawing. So let's get started and head into our first apps. Our first free drawing app is Krita. This might look overwhelming for a first-time artist, but I can see good potential here. By the way, I'm gonna rate each app on 3 different stats: brushes, ease of use, and potential. Each stat can earn up to 4 points for a total of 12 points. The highest scoring apps will be entered into the Hunger Games more times for a higher chance of winning. So, if the top app dies early in the game, they have essentially an extra life. For the brush stat, I'm judging the base brushes, customizability, and comfort of using them. The ease of use stat judges the interface, layer options, disturbances of ads, or lag. And the potential stat judges the breadth of tools, unique features, and post-processing effects. Right off the back, I'm really enjoying the brushes. If you hover over your layer, it can show you a preview. Also, I accidentally came across the liquify tool, I think. I basically hit Ctrl-T to open the transform box and pressed this little button and bam, liquify heaven. For the character design, Krita actually has their own cyber squirrel mascot. I like that idea, so I made mine a squirrel as well. Her hair and tail is black, based on the brush and the logo. I gave her a rainbow beret like the colors in the logo and sprinkled them throughout her design as well. I had a lot of problems with the clipping groups. Basically, you have to select 2 layers and press Ctrl-Shift-G to create a clipping group and hit this little A button to clip it. But as someone who likes using lots of folders and clipping layers, this became tedious really fast. But let's get to scoring. The base brushes on Krita were superb. You have everything you can need for sketching, lining, coloring, and blending. These were my favorite brushes. I couldn't find a way to customize any of the brushes, so that is a downside. 3.5 out of 4 stars. I found Krita smooth to use and was able to find most things easily. However, the layer and clipping system was confusing and some functions weren't intuitive, like deselecting and the liquify tool. But it has no layer limit. 3 out of 4 stars. Krita has a large amount of tools and all the great adjustment features like curves, color adjustments, gradient maps, etc. You can also make time lapses of your drawings. 3.5 out of 4 stars. That puts Krita at a score of 10. Now on to Medibang. Right in the beginning, we got hit with a few ads. Medibang also has an iPad app version, which is definitely a great perk. This time, the clipping functions and folders worked perfectly. Just make sure to change your folder mode to normal if you want to clip it. Medibang's logo reminds me of a water droplet, so I decided to design a more aquatic character. Her hair is red with the blue and green peaking on the inside. I also gave her black sclera and tattoos in the colors of the logo. I noticed some lag when I wanted to use large brushes, which makes me concerned that on a large canvas, you'd run into performance issues. And now it's time to score. The brushes on Medibang were lacking. The selection is small and the brush interaction and blending weren't the best. It has a limited customization. However, it does have everything you'd need for your standard drawing. 2.5 out of 4 stars. Medibang was easy to use with a clean and simple interface. The layers work great with versatile blend modes, folders, clipping layers, and no layer limit. There were minimal ads upon opening the app and some lag with large-scale drawings. I was disappointed that there wasn't a liquify tool, but I could get around this with the lasso and transform tool. 3 out of 4 stars. Medibang has all the basic tools and a decent selection in filter adjustments. You can create a time-lapse of your drawing. Overall, it lacks any unique features. 2.5 out of 4 stars. Medibang gets a total score of 8. The last PC app we have is Fire Alpaca. Wait, this looks like Medibang. Actually, I can say with certainty this is pretty much the same app. The only difference is the light interface, which is already hurting my eyes. Apparently, Fire Alpaca has an animation function. Unfortunately, I won't be trying it out, but it's there. Obviously, we've got a Fire Alpaca on our hands, so I designed the fluffiest character I could imagine. She's squishy and has these mischievous little eyes and space buns. I gave her some orange ribbons, and now she's just the fluffiest little gal ever. Fire Alpaca has the same issues as Medibang because, you know, same app. But surprisingly, there was one big difference, and we'll get into that in the scoring. Fire Alpaca has a larger brush selection than Medibang, and they are much more versatile. In fact, there's even more customizability options, and I liked a lot of the brushes as they felt great and unique. 3 out of 4 stars. The interface and tools on Fire Alpaca are identical to Medibang. Little to no ads, great layer functions, but still no liquify tool in the free version either. 3 out of 4 stars. Again, surprisingly, Fire Alpaca has more filters. They have gradient maps with a large selection and a few other effects. That, combined with the free brushes and patterns, gives it an edge over Medibang in terms of potential. 3 out of 4 stars. That brings Fire Alpaca to a score of 9. We've been trying a lot of free drawing apps, and it has been awesome to make all of this art for free. But drawing apps aren't the only free resources you can use. What if I told you you could start selling prints of your art for free? Yep, skipping equipment, materials, inventory, and packaging. Well, I'm happy to tell you such a thing does exist, and that is through Printful, the sponsor of today's video. So, Printful is a print-on-demand and fulfillment partner. What that means is each item is only printed when someone puts in an order. Then Printful will print, pack, and ship your custom products on your behalf while you focus on doing what you love. It's completely free to start, and they only charge for fulfillment and shipping when you make a sale. And that's perfect for me because I'm good at drawing, but all that other stuff with logistics, not so much. And if you're the same, you might be happy to know that everything's automated, so the store will run itself. Okay, let's go ahead and make a product now using Printful's free design maker. For me, I'm going full-on Space GF aesthetic in honor of our favorite sapphic girlies, Citrina and Ency. They have so many customizable products to choose from. Let's make a hat with Citrina embroidered on it. And now let's add some text. Next, let's do a sweater. And we can't forget to add some spice. For our last product, let's do a canvas print. You can even change the colors of your edges. Once you have your products, you'll want to connect it to your online store. Printful can connect to Etsy, Shopify, TikTok Shop, and much more. Afterwards, you can list your products with your own pricing, descriptions, and branding. Now my products reflect my space girly aesthetic. Order samples of your products to make sure it's perfect, then set up your billing, and you're ready to launch. But don't just stop there. Remember to market your content so it reaches your desired audience. We gotta make sure our sapphic girlies find their loving homes. You can even use art you made from free drawing apps, making it a complete full circle moment with absolutely no cost. And the best part of all, Printful is free to make an account and design your product. So if you're interested, check them out with the link in my description. Now, back to the video. Here comes the iPad apps. Our first app is Ibis Paint X, but if you are a fan of the channel, you would know I have a history with Ibis Paint. I was obsessed for over a year, so I had to pry myself away, and now I'm gradually breaking up with Ibis Paint to explore other apps. So let me introduce you to my ex. One big perk of Ibis Paint is that it's constantly being updated with a large library of video tutorials. I decided to design a character based on the logo's mainly blue and rainbow color wheel. This character is dead inside, with a suspicious smile because this app is very sus. If you know, you know. There are a lot of ads. I've cropped and hidden them away, but they are obstructive. You also have to watch an ad to use all the brushes for 4 hours. But let's get to scoring Ibis Paint X. There is a large variety of brushes, but I think most of them work just okay. The saving grace is the customization, but if I'm honest, I mostly used Lasso Tool and Airbrush for coloring. 2 out of 4 stars. I think Ibis Paint's interface is smooth with a lot of features to discover. There are a lot of ads. If you do happen to draw on a large canvas or have lots of layers, it will lag. Trust me. But there is no layer limit and tons of layer options. We do have Liquify as well. 3 out of 4 stars. Ibis Paint has a lot of features that are locked behind a premium model, but even with the free options and materials, you have a lot you can do. There is a time-lapse feature. 3 out of 4 stars. That brings Ibis Paint to a total of 8. Sketchbook is our next free drawing app. It was interesting to have this brush palette to the side, and the brushes were impressive. They felt realistic and glided nicely. I wanted to make a sleepy character with very naturey colors like in the logo, and I'm honestly quite sad about what happens next because this concept was really good. This app lagged like no other. There was a long response time every time I hit undo. You're probably better off using the eraser. And I didn't like how the interface disappeared every time I tried to draw. On playback, it hurts my brain to watch. I was so fed up with the lag that I didn't even want to draw anymore. So I gave our character a sad frown because I was sad. But let's get to scoring, shall we? Besides the base brushes, I found later on you could access a whole plethora of other brushes. It is unfortunate because the brushes had a lot of potential and customizability, but for what I tried, 2 out of 4. The interface was nice, but that's where it stopped. Some basic functions were locked behind premium modes like clipping masks and folders. And yeah, the lag was unbearable. I have to give it a 1 out of 4. Again, a lot of filters were locked behind a premium model. You can make time lapses, but I nearly deleted my entire time lapse by accident. 1 out of 4. That brings Sketchbook to a score of 4. It was going so well, but I don't know, maybe I used this app wrong? Let me know if you think I should give it another try. Our next free app is Hi Paint. On first impressions, this app reminds me a lot of Procreate, which is a paid drawing app. The interface is clean and simple. You can select your brush type at the top right and change your size and opacity using the sliders on the left. For Hi Paint, I really just wanted to incorporate those beautiful blues, purples, pinks, and logo onto my character's hair. I felt like we needed a bad boy with a heart of gold tribute, so I made a big bad wolf boy. There was some slight lag while using the app, and there are some pretty large and obtrusive ads at the bottom that I had to crop out. Also, I have no idea why, but when I use these iPad apps, I always get the urge to paint. So if you like digital painting, this app seems perfect for it. Let's score it. I thought the base brushes on Hi Paint were nice, albeit simple. I didn't try much customization options because I thought a lot of them were perfect as is. I was enamored by the round brush though. 3 out of 4 stars. Hi Paint worked as intended. There's no layer limit and a variety of layer options including folders and clipping masks. And there's even a Liquify. Like I said earlier, there is a blaring ad at the bottom of the screen, but overall, 3 out of 4 stars. Hi Paint has some filters and adjustments hidden behind this button, but it's lackluster, so I'll give it a 2 out of 4 stars. Hi Paint gets a total score of 8. I think this app is a great free alternative to Procreate. On to iArtBook. Something cool I noticed is all these brushes at the top. At first I thought this was the brush selection, but it turns out these are more like saved presets. You can pick from the large brush catalog, set a corresponding color, and save it. Pretty neat. iArtBook's logo is sleek with a black background and a single white brush stroke. So I designed a character with a simple outfit and white paint strokes on their face. I also gave them a black jacket with a white stripe. Some features are locked behind a premium model, and occasionally you're hit with pretty long ads. But let's get to scoring iArtBook. First of all, the brushes are awesome and feel great. You have tons of options and even more customization options. Like, this is crazy detailed. 4 out of 4. I liked the interface. I didn't notice any folder options, but you do have unlimited layers and clipping masks. However, I docked points here because every time you want to export your image, you have to watch a minute-long ad. Even if you go back to fix something little, you'd have to wait another minute to re-export. 2 out of 4. iArtBook has some effects you can mess with and color adjustments. Also, my time-lapse would not export and kept giving me errors, so yeah, 1 out of 4. iArtBook gets a total score of 7. I think this app is pretty cool, and I look forward to seeing it develop in the future. For our final iPad app, we have Infinite Painter. I was enjoying everything at first until I ran into this little issue. 3 layers? That is insane to me. I feel like this is more like Finite Painter right now. And to rub salt in the wound, it gives you an ad right after showing you all the things you're missing out on. I dislike the layer thing because these brushes actually feel really great. Like some of the best I've used in this whole video. They feel just like real brushes and pencils. I decided to make a character based on the red in the logo. Just simple, long white hair, and a beautiful red dress and makeup. There is a bit of lag on this app, but now let's score. The brushes on Infinite Painter were really nice, especially the pencil brushes. I feel like this is the best there is if you really want that traditional drawing feeling. I can imagine combining this with a paper screen would be heaven. 4 out of 4. The interface is nice and again reminds me of Procreate, but I can't get past the layer limit thing. I'm sure this is amazing as a paid app, but judging as a free app, I can't give this any more than a 0.5 out of 4. Anything you could possibly do besides drawing is locked behind a paid feature. No tools. Just your brush, a lasso, and a few layer modes that are useless considering we only get 3 layers. 0.5 out of 4. Infinite Painter gets a score of 5. I think this app feels great, but as a free app, there's a lot of limitations. We have entered the world of alternative free drawing apps. First, we have the iconic MS Paint. This was my first digital drawing app, and it used to be even more bare bones than this. It doesn't even have layers, so you gotta strip back a lot. The newer MS Paint does have a few brushes and shapes, but you really gotta stick to the pixely pencil brush. It brings a lot of flavor and fun to the drawing. And check out this old school color selector. I decided to go back to my roots and draw an edgy character. I always have to give my characters wings and complete it with heterochromia and ear piercings. Back in the day, I was so comfortable with MS Paint, I would draw my line art here and then transfer to Photoshop to color. I couldn't zoom in with any increments other than 25%, and for some reason the canvas is always aligned to the left. Let's get to ranking. Obviously, MS Paint is very old school and the brushes are nothing to write home about, but you know, sometimes the limitation gets you creative with your art. No, yeah, it's a solid 1 out of 4. The interface is simple and it's really easy to use, if not inconveniently easy sometimes. You have to use a pretty old school color selector, no layers, but really smooth. So 2 out of 4 points. I mean, when it comes to potential, I think you can make good art with very little or basic tools, but sometimes tools help with the speed or unique styles, and there's nothing unique to MS Paint that you can't do in other apps, so 1 out of 4. And that puts MS Paint at a score of 4. I'm sorry, MS Paint, I still love you. Next up, we have the Notes app. Some of you actually draw on this app, and I refuse to believe it. Surprisingly, there are a few brushes. We've got the pencil, a pen, a highlighter, and an eraser. There's some basic colors and even a color selector. It's limited though due to the lack of saturation and brightness sliders, but you are able to mix colors and use the color picker to somewhat bypass that. For the design, I went for a clean character as the logo is just white and yellow. It was really weird to color on this app, and I had a lot of trouble selecting the right yellow. But on to the ranking. You don't get many brushes or sizes to choose from, and I guess the limitation is kind of fun in an MS Paint sort of way, but 0.5 out of 4. The interface is nice. I mean, I used to take actual notes on this app and it's easy to use. But you can't choose your canvas size or zoom in, and you don't get layers, so I gotta give it a 1 out of 4. No selection tool, no resizing, and definitely no effects. Do I think you could make good art on notes? Yeah, sure. But do I think you should do it? No. But it could be a cool flex, so don't let me stop you. 0.5 out of 4. And for our lowest score yet, Notes gets a 2. Our next app is Roblox. Apparently, Roblox has this game mode called Spray Paint where you can draw together with other people. So I had to try it. I did a practice drawing to get used to the controls, and then I just dove right in.
Happens in my mind, car TNT about to blow.
Spray Paint has private servers you can join with apparently pro artists if you can get 25 likes. I wanted to do that. So to get likes, I drew a character based on what I thought the Roblox audience would enjoy. I'm gonna call her Roblox Miku. But during my whole session of drawing, I was not able to get more than 2 likes, so yeah. Now let's get to ranking this odd game. Spray Paint only has one brush and eraser. You can change the brush size, but you have to pay Robux past a certain size. My pen was pretty unresponsive, so I had to switch to my mouse and the line tool for line art, but 1 out of 4. I think it's neat to be in this urban area to just spray paint together. There's a few bad apples griefing, but you can vote to kick people and hide their art. Now, I don't really read the chat or have voice chat open, but I can only imagine what kind of a mess is there. But you get 10 layers, and that's more than some apps today. But for the griefing and chat thing, 1 out of 4. You don't get many tools, but just being able to walk around and look at other people's art can be inspiring? Am I perhaps taking this Roblox drawing experience too seriously? I am not gonna answer that. You will enjoy my Roblox Miku and love her. 1 out of 4. Roblox gets a score of 3. Honestly, what a trip. And for our final app, we have Magma. Magma is a website where you can draw with other people and even export your drawings as .psd files. I wanted to try drawing on a multi-person board, and when I joined, this really adorable person said hi to me and asked if they could color my sketch. Of course, I said yes, and it was so wholesome. Then I had to go and I felt so bad saying bye. The art came out so cute though. Anyhow, I ended up drawing on my own private board to learn the program and decided to draw a sort of fire imp character based on the logo. So let's give it a score. The brushes on Magma are pretty good. For a browser app, I didn't have any problems, and there's even blending brushes. 3 out of 4. The interface is very familiar for digital artists, although it can get a little crazy when you're sharing a board with other people. There's a layer limit of 60. There was a pretty consistent lag going on, and every time I hit Ctrl Z, the cursor would snap to the middle, which was disorienting. 2 out of 4. There is a lot to discover on this app. It has all the basic functions of a traditional art app with the added collaboration and communications functions. But overall, it's so fun to draw with other people. 3 out of 4. And our final score for Magma is a 8. This app is really cool. Okay, we've reached the end of all the free drawing apps. Which apps did you guys like the most? And would you like to see me go more in depth in another video? Or do you think maybe I was too harsh on some? Let me know in the comments. Okie dokie, it's time to do the rankings. First up, we have Fire Alpaca with a 9. Next is High Paint, which got a solid 8. iArtBook is right below that with a 7. Ibis Paint X gets an 8 as well. Infinite Painter got a score of 5. For our top spot with a score of 10, we have Krita. Next, we have Magma with a solid score of 8. Medibang also got an 8. My precious baby MS Paint is sadly at a 4. At dead last, with a score of 2, we've got the Notes app. And our oddball pick, Roblox, is a 3. And for the final app, Sketchbook gets a 4. Since some apps have the same score, I'm going to adjust some of the rankings. I do think Sketchbook is rated a little bit higher than MS Paint. We've got 4 drawing apps with a score of 8, meaning these are all solid, great choices. In this instance, Medibang was the best for me, and the least of all is probably Magma. Now, High Paint has the better brushes, while Ibis Paint X has better post-processing effects, so this comes down to whether you prefer brushes or effects. And for me, Ibis Paint X is better. Now that we've got everybody ranked, let's put them into the Hunger Games simulator. At first place is Krita with an extra 4 lives. In second place, Fire Alpaca gets an extra 3 lives. For our third place, Medibang gets an extra 2 lives. At 4th place is Ibis Paint X with an extra life. In 5th place, High Paint gets an extra 1 life. For 6th place, Magma also gets 1 extra life. For our bottom 6 apps, they will not get extra lives. At 7th place, iArtBook. 8th place, Infinite Painter. 9th place, Sketchbook. At 10th place, Microsoft Paint. 11th place, Roblox. And in dead last at 12th place, Notes. And now, the free drawing app Hunger Games is ready to begin. Please enjoy. Today starts the Cornucopia Bloodbath. All the tributes stand on their podiums with a cornucopia sitting at the center of them. If any of them move before the signal, an explosion will set off. As they stand on their podiums, the horn sounds. The bloodbath begins. Microsoft Paint and Krita fight for a bag. Microsoft Paint strangles Krita with the straps and runs. Krita loses 1 life. Sketchbook stays at the cornucopia for resources. Infinite Painter breaks High Paint's nose for a basket of bread. Roblox grabs a sword. I like to imagine it's a Minecraft sword. Notes takes a spear from inside the cornucopia. Fire Alpaca runs away with a lighter and some rope. It seems we have a pyromaniac in the making. Magma finds a bow, some arrows, and a quiver. Krita takes a sickle from inside the cornucopia. Ibis Paint X, Medibang, Magma, Krita, and iArtBook all run away from the cornucopia. The bloodbath comes to an end, and everyone survives. A good sign, a bad sign. All friends and foes still roam. The first official day begins. It's imperative to find food, water, and shelter to survive. Will some team up? Who will hunt? And who will be the hunted? Fire Alpaca camouflages herself in the bushes. Roblox notices her poor camouflage and they decide to work together to hunt for other tribute. Microsoft Paint was injured during his fight. iArtBook finds him and nearly kills him. Microsoft Paint begs for iArtBook to kill him. He refuses, keeping Microsoft Paint alive. We have a second alliance of Magma, High Paint, Medibang, and Ibis Paint X as they hunt for other tributes. Ibis Paint X makes a wooden spear. They spot Fire Alpaca and Roblox. Magma steals from Fire Alpaca while she isn't looking. Medibang, unable to face herself, runs away. Sketchbook, who has now left the cornucopia, runs into Krita and scares her off. A new alliance with Krita, Infinite Painter, High Paint, and Notes raid Fire Alpaca's camp. She's getting everything picked off her today. Afterwards, Krita picks flowers. Krita tries to sleep through the entire day in her bed made of flowers. Let's check up on everyone's status. Krita has lost 1 life since Bloodbath, but she's still in the game with 4 extra lives. Everyone survives, and Microsoft Paint is awarded with First Blood, a nail-biting game with all tributes still left standing. The first night rolls in. Nighttime is dangerous, and it's time for all tributes to find shelter to sleep. High Paint, Magma, Krita, and Notes all pair up for the night and sleep in shifts. High Paint quietly hums. Magma loses sight of where he is, which is quite a feat considering he's literally on fire. Krita thinks about home. Ibis Paint X finds Medibang, who is injured after running away. Ibis Paint X tends to Medibang's wounds. Medibang loses sight of where she is, and then Medibang receives a bucket from an unknown sponsor. Infinite Painter, iArtBook, Krita, and Fire Alpaca tell each other ghost stories to lighten the mood. Fire Alpaca questions her sanity and leaves camp. Microsoft Paint, dying from his injuries from iArtBook, screams for help. Roblox sets up camp for the night. Krita, feeling homesick from earlier, decides to leave camp to check her surroundings. In the dead of night, Sketchbook stabs Krita with a tree branch. She retreats back into the woods. Krita loses another life. Fire Alpaca and Ibis Paint X tell stories about themselves to each other. She's enjoying herself when Fire Alpaca receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. She wonders what the significance of this explosive is right after speaking with Ibis Paint X, a charming but suspicious man. No one sleeps well. Morning light spews across the arena. The tributes can feel the hunger and thirst growing in their mouths. iArtBook receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Krita goes hunting. Krita overhears High Paint and Notes talking in the distance. They are developing a plan to kill someone. Roblox receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Medibang, likely experiencing hallucinations, keeps running away from herself. Fire Alpaca finds and tends Medibang's wounds. Fire Alpaca chases Krita. Fire Alpaca tries to spear fish with a trident. Infinite Painter and Ibis Paint X split up to search for resources. Fire Alpaca finds Microsoft Paint, eager to finish him off. He puts up a fight, and Ibis Paint X gets there in time. Microsoft Paint, Fire Alpaca, and Ibis Paint X get into a fight. Ibis Paint X triumphantly kills them both. An evil smirk can be seen on his face as he experienced his first blood. Sketchbook fishes. Magma goes hunting. High Paint sneaks up behind him. High Paint stabs Magma while his back is turned. The delayed bloodbath has come. 4 cannon shots were heard throughout the arena. Unfortunately, Microsoft Paint, the poor young boy, is our first tribute to die for good. Krita has lost yet another life, while Fire Alpaca and Magma lose their first life, leaving Magma with only 1 life left. All other tributes remain in the game. Ibis Paint X sleeps in shifts. Krita convinces Roblox to snuggle with her. Krita tries to sing herself to sleep. Medibang screams for help. She remembers herself. Medibang, Krita, and iArtBook sleep in shifts. Fire Alpaca and Magma tell each other ghost stories to lighten the mood. I imagine that was one very bright campfire. Infinite Painter, Sketchbook, Notes, Medibang, and High Paint sleep in shifts. During his sleep, High Paint falls into a frozen lake and drowns. Groggy, hungry, and thirsty, they all get up to start a new day. Medibang travels to higher ground. Krita chases Medibang. Krita fishes. Medibang dies of dysentery. Notes collects fruit from a tree. Magma discovers a cave. Krita discovers a cave. High Paint tries to sleep through the entire day. Infinite Painter travels to higher ground. The previous night, Ibis Paint X was able to steal Fire Alpaca's lighter, rope, and explosives. He creates an intricate, explosive trap around the forest that the tributes are hiding in. When he finds a good opportunity, Ibis Paint X sets an explosive off, killing Fire Alpaca, Sketchbook, Roblox, and iArtBook. In an incredible one-man show, he kills off 4 tributes in one go. 4 cannon shots can be heard, and a smile sprawls across his face. Feeling satisfied with his work, Ibis Paint X tries to sleep through the entire day. Fire Alpaca barely crawls out of the explosion. Fire Alpaca receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. She realizes that the explosives were stolen from her. She ponders who could have done this and sorts her memories through everyone she has interacted with. Fire Alpaca thinks about home. For our bloodiest day yet, 6 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Sketchbook, Roblox, and iArtBook were all eliminated by Ibis Paint X. Medibang loses a life during her run from Krita. High Paint is down to 1 life. Fire Alpaca is down to 2 lives and now has to figure out who tried to kill her and succeeded in killing 3 others. Nighttime arrives. The tributes struggle to keep count of who's alive and gone as they watch the faces play by in the sky. Medibang and Notes discuss the games and what might happen in the morning. Ibis Paint X attempts to start a fire, but is unsuccessful. He drags his hand through his hair, his hand shaking as he laughs and relishes in his kills. He is starting to become undone. Ibis Paint X looks at the night sky. Fire Alpaca receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Fire Alpaca receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. She tends to her wounds for the night, thankful for her generous sponsors throughout the game. Krita, Magma, and High Paint cheerfully sing songs together. Krita and Infinite Painter tell stories about themselves to each other. Krita passes out from exhaustion. The morning of the 4th day arises. All the tributes are on edge. They know that the games are about halfway through. Notes thinks about home. Medibang injures herself. Often the weak and skittish tribute in the games, Krita is eager to kill Medibang. Krita severely injures Medibang but puts her out of her misery. Krita searches for a water source. Ibis Paint X is pricked by thorns while picking berries. The blood runs down his hands. Ibis Paint X thinks about home. Infinite Painter receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Magma tries to spearfish with a trident. High Paint constructs a shack. Fire Alpaca constructs a shack. Krita and Fire Alpaca come up with a plan. As the 2 highest ranking tributes, they feel they are popular with the audience and can get out of the games. Interesting. Krita and Fire Alpaca threaten a double unaliving. It fails, and they die. 3 cannon shots can be heard. Our 3 highest ranking tributes have all lost a life. In a surprising and dangerous turn, Krita only has 2 lives left, while Fire Alpaca and Medibang both only have 1 life left. Ibis Paint X stands strong with 2 lives and 6 kills under his belt, making him the biggest threat yet in the games. High Paint, Magma, Infinite Painter, and Notes all have 1 life. It's nighttime. Feeling sorry for the weak, Medibang receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Krita cries herself to sleep. High Paint finds her. High Paint convinces Krita to snuggle with him. Fire Alpaca and Infinite Painter run into each other and decide to truce for the night. Magma screams for help. Ibis Paint X throws a knife into Note's head. Ibis Paint X tries to sing himself to sleep. In the middle of the night, a loud voice can be heard.
Attention tributes, attention. Commencing at sunrise, there will be a feast tomorrow at the Cornucopia.
The cornucopia is replenished with food, supplies, weapons, and memories from the tributes' families. All the tributes decide to go and are at a standstill waiting in the woods. Krita acts first, being the fastest of them all. Krita stuffs a bundle of dry clothing into a bag before sprinting away. The other tributes make their move. Fire Alpaca makes a run for the food, while Medibang desperately makes her way to the feast. High Paint shoots an arrow at Fire Alpaca, but misses and kills Medibang instead. Fire Alpaca is able to grab an item from the feast, an item she had been missing, along with a note. Magma gathers as much food into a bag as he can before fleeing. Infinite Painter is slow to the feast and runs into Ibis Paint X. He got there first and was able to acquire a sword. Ibis Paint X severely slices Infinite Painter with a sword. The feast ends. Ibis Paint X fishes. He notices Krita hiding to the side. Ibis Paint X chases Krita. Krita injures herself. High Paint receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Fire Alpaca tends to Magma's wounds. 3 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. By the end of day 5, 3 tributes were killed. Notes, Infinite Painter, and Medibang have all met their demise. In the game, we still have Krita and Ibis Paint X with 2 lives, and Fire Alpaca, High Paint, and Magma all with 1 life. Night has arrived. The tributes all tuck into sleep. However, Fire Alpaca has finally realized the significance of the explosives being sent to her. They were meant to kill Ibis Paint X, who was known to be a threat, but she was so distracted by their good conversation that he stole her explosives and tried to kill her instead. This time, she would make sure to return the favor and finish the job. Fire Alpaca finds Ibis Paint X. Ibis Paint X screams for help. Fire Alpaca sets an explosive off, killing Ibis Paint X. The job is done, but Ibis Paint X still has 1 life left. High Paint and Krita have bonded. High Paint convinces Krita to snuggle with him. She feels comforted, and her fears melt away in his arms. Morning arrives in the arena. It is day 6, and all the tributes are exhausted, though replenished from the feast. They must make their moves to bring this game to an end. Fire Alpaca makes a wooden spear. Krita realizes that having a connection with another tribute in the game is pointless and will only get them killed. She leaves High Paint. High Paint questions his sanity. Krita and Magma work together for the day. Krita receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor, telling her she is on the right path. She can win. Ibis Paint X explores the arena. Nighttime has arrived. Everyone survived yesterday except Ibis Paint X is down to 1 life, making him a significantly lesser threat. High Paint attempts to start a fire, but is unsuccessful. He curses and remembers his time with Krita fondly. Fire Alpaca passes out from exhaustion. Krita tends to her wounds. Krita catches Ibis Paint X off guard and kills him. Ibis Paint X reign has ended. Magma stays awake all night. The 7th morning has begun. The tributes have been stuck in the arena for exactly a week now. Magma is pricked by thorns while picking berries. Fire Alpaca stalks High Paint. Krita accidentally detonates a landmine while trying to arm it. Suddenly, all remaining tributes are down to 1 life. It is anyone's game. One moment, it was broad daylight, then the next, nothing. The arena turns pitch black and nobody can see a thing. Everyone is caught off guard, all having forgotten about the arena event. It came late this time, after the feast. Fire Alpaca, who was already stalking High Paint, takes the opportunity. Fire Alpaca finds and kills High Paint, who was making too much noise. He was not able to find Krita one last time. Krita flails her weapon around, accidentally killing Magma. The arena event ends only to reveal that it is already nighttime. Both Krita and Fire Alpaca keep track of the cannon shots. 1, 2, 3... There are only 2 left standing. The 2 who initially tried a double unaliving to get out of the game. The 2 top tributes. They know they both must face each other and finish this game and determine who is the best free drawing app. In a forest clearing with the moonlight shining atop them, they both exit their hiding spots and draw out their weapons. Fire Alpaca yells across to her. The words penetrate Krita's ears and she grows angry and charges at Fire Alpaca. She had killed High Paint. She throws a hatchet at Fire Alpaca, who dodges. Fire Alpaca with her wooden spear and Krita, who pulls out a pair of sais from the feast earlier. Fire Alpaca lunges with her spear, but Krita is able to catch it to the side with her sais. Fire Alpaca struggles to pull her spear back and Krita tears it off of her. Krita takes the opportunity and jumps at Fire Alpaca. Krita repeatedly stabs Fire Alpaca to death with sais. The cannon blasts and Krita heaves, knowing the job is done. She jumps out of the way as the hovercraft comes. She can barely hear the words. The winner is Krita from District 1. That concludes the free drawing app Hunger Games. In first place we have Krita, second place Fire Alpaca, third place Magma, fourth place High Paint, fifth place Ibis Paint X, sixth place Infinite Painter, seventh place Medibang, eighth place Notes, ninth place iArtBook, 10th place Roblox, 11th place Sketchbook, 12th place Microsoft Paint. By the end, the tribute with the highest kill count was Ibis Paint X with a combined total of 8 kills. He is followed by Krita with 4 kills, and in third was Fire Alpaca and High Paint with 2 kills. Microsoft Paint and Sketchbook both achieved 1 kill. Krita does her victory tours after the game, but she will never be the same again. we're rolling the ending credits now. I hope you guys enjoyed me trying out free drawing apps with a Hunger Games twist. This was a lot of fun and perhaps an odd concept of a video, but I really did enjoy some of these apps and I'd like to give them more of a go in the future. Do let me know which is your favorite. Thank you for all your lovely fan art this time around. I appreciate each and every one of them very much. Alrighty, until next time, I'm wishing you all the best on your journeys of achieving your goals and dreams. Bye!